sick of these pukes. Shut up!
Now, let's just move away from that for a second here. Let's have a grown folk conversation, because it seems like that is just absolutely impossible to have when it comes to gaming now. And a lot of you have woken up and have seen the reality that Big Cloud has been trying so hard with every fiber of my being to stop us from going to. And yet I got hit with damage control, insults, you name it. I mean, it's bad enough grown-ass men damage control paying $700 for a gimmick, which is the PS5 Pro, and then want to flat out go to the extremes of saying that it's outperforming the top of the line GPUs in order to get subs, views, and attention. And then they don't even want to own up when they get fucking completely destroyed. Not just by the PC community or the latest cards. No, we're not going to talk about that. I'm talking about the guy who sold it to you from the beginning. And that was Mark Cerny. Crazy, ain't it? But of course, I know a lot of people going, Big Cloud, why are you talking about PS5 Pro? You made a problem. There's no PS5 Pro. That was in 2024, ladies and gentlemen. This is a new year. And like I didn't say a word about PS5 Pro. So I'm a man of my word, and I am free. So please, just sit along and let's just have fun here. As you guys can clearly see, this industry is in a terrible state. And it's not just with the CEOs leaving the PlayStation. Oh, no. It's a little deeper than that. You see, there's a problem within this industry, but also there's a problem with the consumer. There's two things here. These two negatives are clashing, and it's giving you diminishing and terrible results. On one side, you have a community of gamers that act like, PR guys. That act like they're in the board meetings. That damage control every bad practice, policy, you name it. These same dudes are the main ones that are now looking dumb that we got 2 more canceled games, and they're trying to, brush it off like, oh, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. It's fine. PlayStation's still fine. It's better than Xbox. The copium is on levels that I never thought we would ever get to. And the funny thing is, I tried to prevent it. But now you reap what you sow, ladies and gentlemen, and now it's time to talk about it. PlayStation 5. PlayStation in general. Since this generation started, and you guys are very well known of this because I've said this multiple times, but one thing I did say is that Sony has been bankrupt in terms of creativity. Sony has lost an edge and something that they never had an issue with, and that was their creativity. That creativity saved them with the PS3 gen. That creativity gave us arguably one of the greatest consoles, if not the greatest console of all time, with the PlayStation 2. That creativity and innovation gave us the PS1 and gave us the redemption story. That was the PS4. Since PS4 and the redemption story and the games that we got and the amazing amount of detail, the amount of love that we got out of that box from the studio that we're now, I guess people are afraid to call out, which is insane, but the very studio that gave you everything under the sun with PS4 has not even tried with this generation. We have more, as of right now, we have more canceled games than new, fresh games from first-party studios. We have more canceled games than first-party studio games that are new. Most of the stuff that we played are games that we fell in love with from the PS4 gen that have been repackaged, remastered, and repackaged and remastered again with the help of Nixus. Been double repackaged with with Days Gone coming also. It's on the horizon. Mind you, the definitive version is already on PC. How could you make it any better? Oh, you know what? Let's not even go down that road, because they did make Horizon look better. And again, you know what's funny about Horizon on the Nixus version of Horizon? You can't even tell the difference of that game running on a base PS5 and a fucking PS5 Pro. Nasty work, ain't it? But hey, these are the same dudes that wanted the damage control and say that Big Cloud is pocket watching. Big Cloud is broke. Numerous gamers are broke. No, we're not idiots. No, we see what's happening. No, we see the nickel and diming, especially with the upcharge of PlayStation Plus, controllers, etc. We see it. You idiots want to act like spokesmen for the wrong reasons. A lot of you are trying to do this for your own gain, and it's clearly showing. And the fact is, so many of you have traded in your gamer card so bad, damage controlling for this very company. Look, you can ask any PC guy. I love PlayStation. PlayStation is a big part of my life. You can ask any PC elitist. They'll tell you Big Cloud is a big PlayStation guy. Wear it on the sleeve. Had no issue with PlayStation. Love PlayStation. I'll always be a fan of PlayStation. And no PC gamer would come at me wrong for saying this. Because they know why I love PlayStation. Because a lot of them fell in love with PlayStation. But you know the problem is? Sony has scared away a good chunk of these guys that are now on PC, living the free life, that were on console. They have scared away so many of them with bullshit policies that you guys are damage controlling. The PS3 gave us free online. We were living the good life. Granted, we had a slow start. We were doing great. Look at us now. We're paying for online. We're arguing over a subscription service being good when the damn subscription service is starting the year off giving you fucking Suicide Squad. This is the shit. This is how bad the mighty have fallen. We're in 2025, a new year. We got some games dropping. I'm not going to be weird. We got games dropping. We got promises of Intergalactic, which looked fine. I don't really care for the game like that, but I do want to see the gameplay. But again, it's Naughty Dog. You got that. You got Death Stranding. Awesome. And I think it was another game. The rest, and that's it. It's like 3 games for this year. The rest of everything else is multi-plat, third-party games like Turok, Okami, Virtual Fighter, and so forth. Some great bangers that people are excited for are coming back, are making an epic comeback. This is the type of excitement that technically Sony should be having. Okami should have been Resistance for PlayStation. Turok should have been Killzone for PlayStation. And so forth and so forth. Mafia could have been fucking SOCOM or not even say Resistance. Fucking, you get the point. Infamous. We have so many games at our disposal. Sony has a library, a legacy that, and no offense to my Xbox brothers, you already know, I'm not in this, but you would agree, Sony has a thing called a legacy. Legacy titles. They have more legacy titles than Microsoft. Microsoft has done good in the time they've been out here. But let's face it, if we're talking about pure, strictly legacy, Sony does have more legacy titles. You know, the problem with Sony is they're repackaging and releasing the same games that no one asked for instead of the true legacy titles that made us fall in love with PlayStation. That is the problem. Why am I keep bringing this up? Shuhei Yoshida, as you guys already know, is gone from PlayStation. He was the heart and soul of PlayStation. He is no longer with the company. This guy is not only one of the most loved figures in gaming and in this industry, he's one of those dudes that fought for us for years, for quality, looked out for us. He came out and said that, listen, if he was CEO, he would oppose the live service approach. Dudes are like, yeah, see, it's all Jim Ryan's fault. It's all Herman Holtz's fault. Even though you were hyping up Herman Holtz a couple months ago, you were hyping up Herman Holtz, but more on that later. It's all Herman Holtz. It's Jim Ryan. Okay, it's all their fault that games are live service. It's all their fault that games are failing. Okay, cool, sure. We'll continue with this. And also, after him saying that he would oppose this approach, Shuhei Yoshida said something that had people lose their minds, and I flat out had the biggest smile on my face, because what have I been saying is one of the biggest problems with the PlayStation community. The biggest problem that the PlayStation community is suffering from is a bunch of gamers that claim to be like-minded, that claim to be passionate, that claim to care about this industry, the developers, etc. The same people that dedicate their platforms, their lives to Twitter, their lives to Twitter Spaces, their lives to pointless podcasts, their lives trying to get people to debate for shit they don't know. These motherfuckers will tell you 9 times out of 10 every week by week, that PlayStation doesn't have a problem. PlayStation game sales are doing great. They'll bring up revenue from PlayStation, and then they'll damage control when somebody from Microsoft, somebody on the Xbox side shows the same type of revenue, if not more, on Xbox when Microsoft didn't even have no games. These be the same dudes that would damage control a game selling 1.5 million, a game selling 2 million, 3 million. They'll give you all the excuses in the world. Well, it's a niche game. It sure wasn't niche when you were hyping up on Twitter, though, was it? Was it, people? Shuhei Yoshida flat out said that if you guys want the remakes and if you guys want the remakes and remasters of the single player games that you truly want, it's best you support the games that we give you. Meaning all the Horizon games, the Last of Us games, the upcoming Days Gone game, and vice versa. It's best you support all those games that they so conveniently, so systematically put at $70 for you because it has a new slab of paint on it. It's best that you support those games day one if you want games like SOCOM, Resistance, and vice versa. I call cap, ladies and gentlemen. You see, a lot of people don't understand what a community is to a company. I said this on Boomstick Show. I said this on multiple shows. They will quote me. They will greenlight me for this. So I'm going to say this too. I'm going to say this on my very own platform. A company, at the end of the day, is driven by the lifeblood. The lifeblood of a company is the community. The community is the thing that drives them to be successful. When they drop a product and that community says that product is amazing and worth it, what do you think the community is going to do with that product? They're going to make more of that product. They're going to invest more into that type of product. If a product is terrible, like unfortunately, and again, no offense to the team, I'm good friends with a lot of them, so that might surprise you guys, but to the team over at that made Concord, yes, a lot of them reach out to me. There is no issue. I have no issue with the team. But the game was not what the game didn't do what needed to be done. It didn't. People were not impressed. And in this rare moment, the community didn't buy it. So guess what? Guess what Sony did? They canceled it. Now here's the problem with them canceling that game and firing those developers and literally taking a big debt in the midst of this. You as the consumer paid the ultimate price. How you might say? Price hikes on everything, price gouging everything to make up for the loss of Concord. Dude's trying to say his business. More on that word business later. Okay. We're going to move that off to the side. Dudes want to say it's business. Okay. Gotcha. I got something for you. Don't worry about it. Back to this. They price gouge you. Games being repackaged again, overpricing you for games you already played. No one asked for. Hyping up small little tiny differences on a PS5 Pro, giving you a $700 console, and then having the nerve to go and make a collection, a 30th anniversary edition of that same console at marked up prices, and then conveniently found more to sell you to make even more of that profit because of the Concord situation. So many of you don't pay attention. So many of you are just so hyped to buy stuff that you shouldn't really be buying. We're in 2025, ladies and gentlemen. And as of today, or technically yesterday, Sony has canceled 2 more games. I've said for the longest time that Sony has been creatively, Sony has been abysmal. This is some of the worst creativity, again, that we've ever had. Some of the worst. Sony thought it was a good idea to put Sony Santa Monica in charge of a live service God of War game. Sony, there's a game that you launched on the PlayStation 3. Yeah, it was PlayStation 3. It's called God of War Ascension. Nobody wanted that. What makes you think people are going to buy God of War, especially this version of God of War with online features in 2025? The answer is simple. No one. But you know what really pissed me off? It wasn't even the God of War thing. Blue Point Games. How long have I been hyping up one particular game, and a lot of you have been jumping up out your seats, agreeing with me from start to finish since the start of this shit, since we started getting remakes and remasters? Blue Point Games was also making a multiplayer live service game. And what's crazy about this, in the midst of Sony forming a capital alliance with From Software, or Katakawa, excuse me, and, you know, buying a good chunk into From Software and working with them, you would think that Blue Point Games was working on the biggest love letter for PlayStation fans. The game that got a lot of PlayStation guys into the Souls-like game genre and Bloodborne. They did not give you that. This whole time, we've been waiting for a Bloodborne. This whole time, we've been hoping for a Bloodborne. This whole time, reports and rumors are going around that Bloodborne was possibly happening or could be happening or could be revealed. And we got nothing. And y'all dudes want to sit here and clap and say, well, it's a good thing for us, y'all. It's a good thing for us because nobody wanted these live service games. Okay. If you're already paying marked up prices right now because of Concord, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think is going to happen now that two more studios that now have cost Sony over $1 billion? What do you think is going to happen now? You still think Sony's going to sit around and just charge you $80 or plus when they got suckers that are damage controlling a price hike and dudes damage controlling that game should be $100? This right here, this complacency is the reason why PlayStation is in the bad, if not the worst. It's one of the worst shapes it's ever been. And that says a lot. And that hurts my soul. Because PS4 I was so invested in. I was so happy coming from PlayStation 3 into 4. I was so happy. I felt the passion, the excitement. I felt the greatness. The greatness away tagline meant something. You can ask any Xbox dude. They will not debate me on this. They will agree with me in unison. You can ask anybody, King David, anybody. They will agree with me. That tagline, greatness awaits, it meant something in the PS4 gen. And PS5, it means nothing. You know what does have value though in PS5 in terms of a statement from Sony? It's for the payers. That has relevance. Not the players, the payers. How can it be for the players when the players are not even supporting the games? How can we call PlayStation gamers actual players when they're not buying the games that they hype up day in and day out, every single day, every single week, and Twitter Spaces nonstop? Talking about pointless shit about Xbox, talking about CEOs and families, but it needs to be the same dudes that was sent for a CEO or a developer that might be going, hey, by the way, you probably shitted on too, but that same dev that probably came from the studio that you shitted on is going to PlayStation. Hey, welcome to PlayStation. You're going to do great. I'm so happy for you. You dudes make me sick. You make these developers sick. You make these developers not want to talk to people. You make this entire hobby look like a joke that it already has become. When you have dudes going to their fucking damnness of lows to talk about CEOs in terms of like their personally and all that, like as if you know them, developers personally as if you know them, acting like developers have a vendetta against you when they're simply doing their job, their passion, and that's to make the magic that makes us turn on these fucking boxes. You dudes damage control day in and day out and have the nerve to throw shade at these same developers every day. So what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Are games going to go to $100? If games go to $100, I'm just going to say this right now. Listen, if you think dudes are not buying games at 70, because they clearly are not, hence why Shuhei Yoshida flat out said, we need the PC community to make the single player games that you want. Well, I hate to break it to you, Shuhei, even though I know you're not in charge anymore, and I think you agree with me in unison, if you want PlayStation games to reach more gamers, you might want to get rid of the login requirement. Because I'm telling you right now, if you get rid of that login requirement and treat PlayStation as it should be treated, and that is a fucking service that is provided to the gamers around the world, that gamers of all ages that want to have a good time, a fun ecosystem. It is time to get with the program and stop acting like you're the head honcho of controlling everything. PC gamers will never bend the knee to shady practices. PC gamers will never accept mediocrity in video games. PC gamers will always demand the top of the line. And guess what? You can ask any PC gamer and they will agree with me in the comment section. They have no problem waiting. If the game is going to be delivered the way it's been advertised and work as it's been advertised, they will buy it. It will sell. Good games sell. Remember that. Good games sell. So stop this damage control about Marvel Rivals outselling and outperforming Concord. Stop this damage control that Black Myth Wukong outsold everything on PlayStation. Stop this damage control that the PC community saved Helldivers. All these accolades that you're talking about, especially with Helldivers, you need to thank the PC community for. Because they damn sure wasn't going to be done with the very PlayStation gamers that pretend like they care day in and day out. And of course, the real PlayStation gamers are buying stuff. Obviously, I'm not talking to you. So shout out to y'all that have supported and buy everything. If you like the Last of Us games that have been repackaged and you bought them and you have no problem, buy them. Buy them. But I'm speaking for the overwhelming majority that don't want that. We want better experiences. And to the dudes saying they're going to jump to PC gaming as I'm about to close this video, I hate to break it to you. PC gaming is closed. You're not going to be welcome in the PC community. And what's funny, most of you dudes that act like you're going to have this easy transition to PC gaming are literally going to be right back to your boxes after you make that weird tweet saying, I'm a PC gamer, here's my rig. You're still going to be on the console. When PS6 evidently gets shown, you'll buy PS6, and guess what you're going to be doing? You're going to be back to saying stupid shit like, hey, PS6? Yo, I got to be honest with you guys, man. To everybody in the chat, PS6, this shit's a monster, man. Yeah, it's $1,000, but guess what it does, y'all? Well, what does it do? It outperforms a 5090. I love y'all. I thank you. To those of you that would be petty, talking shit, being personal, they're going personal over me just being honest with you, like I've always been on this very platform. Hey, no hard feelings. Hopefully we can work together and get things back the way it is. If not, things will continue to be a joke and you continue to get nothing in the long run. And you sit here in the dark, twiddling your thumbs, playing your little keyboard, which is Twitter. That's all most of you play. Oh yeah. Y'all might as well turn to PC gamers. Them damn Twitter fingers are hot, baby. Go ahead and join that PC community if you want to. I think you actually do pretty damn good. Well, anyway, that's it for me, man. I got nothing else to say. I really, really don't. I'll see you guys for more content. The content's back. Thank you for the long support. I appreciate all the messages. Thank you. I know this is 20-something minutes, but it needs to be said. You know it needs to be said when I go this long in a fucking video. And no one else is going to do it like this. Everybody's going to damage control and compare PC parts to a fully functional console and say stupid shit like it's better than this. These are the motherfuckers I don't even waste time with or brain cells with. And I'm making a full commitment to you guys, starting with this video. I will not associate or make any fucking passes for this. I'm here for y'all, and that's what I'll be committed to every single day I can on this very platform. Until then, your boy Bit, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Thank you. I really do. Shout out to my crew that continues to push me to want to do this. Thank you. Shout out to Cassie. Shout out to Blaze. Shout out to Butch, Red Hood. Shout out to all of them. John, Benji, everybody. Thank y'all. I would not have gotten through most of this stuff if it wasn't for y'all. I wouldn't have gotten through most of 2024 if it wasn't for y'all's support and love that y'all have for me. And that's real. Shout out to Bad Bella, my boy Danny from the platform. You guys can catch me there Saturdays. You guys can catch me everywhere else. I'll let you guys know when I'm live. Oh, yeah. And as far as live streams are concerned, those will be back. But I'm doing something a little different with my live streams in 2025. So keep an eye out. I'm not going to tell you when. I'm not even going to tell you what it's going to be called or what we're going to be doing. Just keep an eye out. Because a lot of stuff needs to change. And one of the main things that need to change is yours truly. And that's getting back in the seat and making this content. Appreciate Alex as well for the support and the motivation. And for Tango. Y'all be good. Y'all be blessed. Y'all be easy. I'm out of here, man. Deuces.